Hello and welcome to Zelda Speedruns, bringing to you the grand finals of the Link's Awakening DX Any Percent No Wrong Warp Out of Bounds tournament. It is TGH versus SeYsEy. On commentary for you are Astronomers and Metamateria, who know this game way better than I do, so I'll give you over to them.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the grand finals of this year's tournament.
Yeah, this will be a basically one or two races, depending on who wins the first one. So if TGH wins, tournament's over, he is the champion. If SeYsEy wins, then it goes to a game 2 with a bracket reset, and then that will decide who the winner of the tournament is.
And the likelihood of that happening is incredibly high. These two races are literally top of the boards at first and third, with only about 59 seconds between their recorded times, so any small thing could make this run go either way.
Yeah, also incredibly consistent runners, though TGH definitely seeming to be the poised to win this tournament based on his current consistency with the game, averaging around a 49.3x, which is 20 seconds faster than SeYsEy's current PB.
Yeah, this Whooper is insane. Ugh.
Indeed.
But yep, like I said, anything could happen. We could even see a PB from SeYsEy. I would love to see that today.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much he's been practicing, but yeah, that'd be interesting to see. Oh boy, Game Boy Color, or the Game Boy Advance.
Ooh,
my favorite.
Yeah, for when you need those trigger buttons that work as LNR sometimes. I think you can do that with some models, or at least some of the emulation options, like the running on the GameCube.
Yeah, for LNR, it's if you're playing a Game Boy Advance game, it defaults to LNR.
Yeah. Oof. But all right, we are a go. And
oh boy.
The first part of the run, and again, this could make all the difference, is the rupee luck.
Yeah, rupee luck can range from you basically getting like a sub 130 shop and you're gaming and you're probably on pace for a sub 4 enter D1, or you'll be like on pace for over 5 minutes. It's really probably one of the most RNG filled parts of the run with how the rupee luck works. So just to sort of break down here, so we need 10 rupees to get bombs and the powder. However, rupees are random drops, and on Octoroks and just general enemies, it's a coin flip on whether or not the rupees will spawn. And then eventually when we get to the grass outside the shop, it'll be a 1 in 16 chance for a bush to drop a rupee. Luckily, we can make this process a bit easier by duplicating the rupees by holding out the shield under a rupee. And what that'll do is, depending on your positioning and your frame rule, you can duplicate the rupee.
You can also duplicate with the sword. It's a little harder, though.
Yeah, duplicating with a sword basically makes it so you can pretty much frame perfectly duplicate. You don't have to worry about any sort of timing, any sort of timing, but any sort of positioning. Yeah. TGH getting some pretty good luck, but both the racers, both making it in at roughly the same time. Getting not so great bush luck.
Great shopkeeper luck for TGH, though.
Oh yeah, getting a fast cycle. Yeah, so the shopkeeper actually works on a cycle. So, depending on when you enter the shop will depend on how the shopkeeper's timer works. And so in TGH's case, he got a good cycle, so he was able to leave quicker than SeYsEy. So that's why he's ahead now, despite SeYsEy entering the shop like a second faster.
Yeah. Still very close, though. We're talking like a difference of milliseconds right now.
Yeah, it's pretty much synced at this point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm just hyped watching this. I can't imagine what the audience is having right now.
Yeah, and then this is the trendy game. You can set it up And ooh, TG going for the fast trendy. Very nice. If you stand at the very edge and then put your the claw like right at the edge, you can actually get the powder a bit faster. It's like maybe 10 frames faster or whatever. Anyways, they are synced. Quite literally synced.
All
So we're
right.
gonna enter this house to store the save and quit point so that can be used to return to the house later.
I think it's a trick done about 2 or 3 times in this run overall, is the save and quit setting. So not too often. We see both of them get the owl animation skip using a bomb trigger, the most useful and most plentiful trick in this run.
Yeah, so, well, I wouldn't say the most plentiful, I'd probably say that's super jumps, but...
I mean, yeah.
Bomb
super jump
trigger, just to keep it a little simple, very nice, by the way. Basically, if you place 2 bombs on the same screen, it manipulates the bomb arrow trigger so that the game thinks that you're firing a bomb arrow because you have 2 items that are assigned to the bomb arrow on the screen, but because there's no arrow to actually, trigger into a bomb arrow, it triggers the next value, which happens to be a cutscene.
Most of the time. There are certain instances where the first sprite slot, which is what it looks for, is occupied by either a piece of the terrain or an enemy. So later in D7, there's a bit of an enemy, and if you're ever trying to bomb trigger in a room with an owl statue, you just can't do it, because owl statues always take the first slot.
Oh yeah, and then also in that instance with the Terran bomb trigger, you have to kill that moblin.
Yeah.
And then the bomb triggers are also limited to what's in your inventory as well. So for instance, you can't bomb trigger, dungeon opening animations. You actually have to have the key and interact with the object.
Yeah.
TGH getting the good RNG here and using arrow strats, while SeYsEy's using the more safe sword strats.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, you probably want to use arrow strats. Oh, sorry about that.
No, I was going to say, we'll see if that affects things later, because again, these two are really close. Neither going for the damage boost, both playing it super safe.
Well, not even just the damage boost, not even going for the shield boost, knowing that basically getting hit and falling means death.
Yeah.
So now coming up is the super jumps. Super jumps are basically like some of the bread and butter movement of this run, where if you clip into a wall, then jump up against the wall, and then change your direction in midair, the game thinks that you are
on the upper
ledge, and so you can hop off the ledge, and it will allow you to be in that sort of falling no-clip state until you land, which means that you can, jump over blocks, keys, other walls, etc. And that's why we have an out-of-bounds rule set, because you can do that quite literally anywhere in a dungeon.
Yeah. Because walls are a suggestion, they're all just ledges.
Yeah, in dungeons, for some reason, they made all the walls ledges.
Probably to save sprite slot information, because this is a big game for the Game Boy, all things considered.
I mean, also, they could have just used the overworld tiles and skinned them.
Probably. But I think those are also technically ledges, as long as the small barriers aren't there. And even then.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't super jump off trees.
I mean, yeah, but what would a dungeon be if the walls were full of trees?
The forest temple.
You know what? I'll accept that answer. It checks out.
Honestly, I'd like a Zelda game that's like all trees, it's like very forest themed.
You know what? I think I might too. I love this text box, and I love mentioning it every time I commentate, but that is one of 2 text boxes in this run that you can just skip with B, and it's only doable in the Japanese 1.0, because they were like, no, you have to listen to them talk for 40 text boxes. Yeah.
I want to say it's probably 3 text boxes that you can press B on. Yeah, no, it's 3 because you have Terran, that, and the trendy game, Shopkeeper. that you can skip text on.
Yeah.
Anyways, time for Moblin Cave. Let's see if TGH can get the quad. Nope, didn't get the RNG for it. Depending on how the Moblins move, you can kill all 4.
Pretty good luck on both of them, though. At least the doubles.
Also, TGH going for the more risky strat here, saves about a second, while SeYsEy is going for the traditional corner strats. And now time for the bane of my existence.
I mean, he's a good boy. He does like
No.
2 good things in the run.
Sometimes doesn't do the one good thing.
Yeah.
So, and the only other time that he does a good thing is because you make him do it.
Yeah. All right. Ooh.
Okay,
really
decent
good
RNG.
shoot.
Let's see how SeYsEy gets it. Oh, and SeYsEy getting screwed over by Bow Wow, yeah.
There it is. Not the worst in the world, but
Oh, and TGH messing up the Stalfos here.
oh, and then
Oh.
SeYsEy messing up the torches. Oh,
I'm telling ya, arrow strats are the future, baby.
I wonder if how much pressure they're under right now, just in terms of knowing that they are both 2 of the best runners in this situation where if TGH loses, he has to win twice, and SeYsEy just has to win twice. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think, both runners usually play pretty well under pressure, so...
Yeah. We've seen them going for a lot of safe strats. Oof. And getting
Yeah,
beat up and bullied by
SeYsEy definitely
things.
more so than TGH.
Yeah.
SeYsEy going for the very safe arrow strats.
As like, considering the need to win twice, you'd almost think SeYsEy would go for a little bit more risky stuff, but
Yeah.
I guess it's a matter if you're relying on TGH to potentially screw up the risky stuff.
Yeah, perhaps. But I think, SeYsEy, generally speaking, I guess not really goes against the grain, but he definitely does a lot more simpler strats than a lot of other top players.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Focuses
Too.
more on his consistency of how he plays rather than, how hard the strats and how many frames he saves on each one.
Yeah.
Which is antithetical to his actual gameplay in the shorter categories where
All the risks.
where he's playing for all the frames.
I say, this is actually the beginning of a very long trick. This is the only instance of the game where we have no save and quits for a decent amount of time, which allows routing for a piece of power. It also needs us to do Villa Skip, though, which is the best trick and the first one anyone should learn, just because it is mildly easy. It's just a matter of jumping onto this hole and frame buffering until you hear the falling sound, and then just due to how the game functions, it'll drop you into the screen below.
Except,
So
it's a 1 in 4. And both runners getting really screwed by the Villa Skip here.
Just heard TGH's go.
Yeah. While SeYsEy's still going, wow.
Oh.
SeYsEy's
And-
caught up a little bit because of that Villa Skip, but
Yep.
yeah,
That
both
on-
runners getting really bad RNG on that.
Yep.
Anyways, yeah, we can just clip into a little pit and then transition down and get thrown to the bottom. That's called a zip. You're not going out of bounds.
Nope.
Game is placing you on a normally accessible tile. You're fine.
Yep. It all works out. Like, if you somehow got in the middle of the trees, I think that counts as out of
That's out
bounds,
of
but
bounds.
otherwise, you're fine.
Also, noodle arms.
Yeah.
Basically, key blocks or dungeon entrance blocks. Actually, they don't really calculate your position. They just care that Link is facing forward.
Yeah.
So as long as he's facing forward and interacts with the key slot, then
Yep.
he's able to use the key.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
you'll notice
as-
them killing a lot more enemies than normal here. Like I said, the piece of power routing, they need to get to 30 kills just slightly before the Dodongo fight is ideal.
Yeah, and that'll give them the piece of power, which increases their movement speed by 1.25 times and doubles their attack power and increases their knockback. And
increases knockback. It just makes knockback infinity, let's face it. It's
yeah,
the worst part of the power-up. If we could avoid that but get everything else, I think we'd love it. But
yeah, I think, but one of the big things about the damage is that's kind of the main reason why we would get it in D3. While the movement speed is nice,
cutting out cycles on SeYsEy is also incredibly nice.
Yeah, you cut out like 3 cycles on SeYsEy, which is like 10 seconds almost, which is
it's good.
really good.
If you want to see a runner cry, though, watch an acorn fall on their head when they're trying to do this. Because the second you get the acorn, you can't get the piece of power anymore.
Also, we didn't mention this before, but that's called a flock clip. If you interact with an object while holding diagonally and get text, the game will force you diagonally, and then when you're in the corner, you can actually just move between, no problem.
Yep. Your hitbox is weird, and it's lovely.
Yep.
Dude, there's the split.
Alrighty, cool. Perfect. Really good SeYsEy from both of them. Didn't get screwed by frame rules. SeYsEy can be a little annoying where you can actually enter the fight on a bad frame, and if you hit him on every other frame, he won't split at all.
Yeah.
And so
annoying.
yeah, it's really annoying.
I've had it happen so many times that I just like cry on the inside.
Yeah.
All right, and okay, now we get to go to the first soft. No, there's multiple soft lock. Are there soft lockable moments other than Walrus?
Plenty of
Beyond,
places.
I was gonna say D6. All of the soft locks are in this section of the run, and technically, because if you fail the super jump or the Dodongo skip, you can end up in those blocks and unable to move, which is a soft lock. You've got the more significant soft lock that can potentially happen here during the Walrus skip, and then the getting stuck in a wall can happen again in D6. So all of the soft locks are in this section of the run.
If you know how to, play out the run and are consistent, then soft blocking should not be an issue.
Yeah, we're likely not to see it from these two runners, short of like acts of God.
TGH getting good RNG on the damage down. No, I was gonna say let's see if any of them do the Walrus deload, but I'm like, oh wait, no one does the deload. Ooh,
that could have been sketchy on SeYsEy's side.
Both are doing the one buffer method, but both got subpixeled, so we'll see how they react here. Both actually in the exact same positioning, relatively. So
that looks okay. Yeah, they're good. If you screw that up by even a single pixel, Walrus does not disappear, and at this point in the game, you'll notice SeYsEy and them both going to their lovely cactus wife. You can't press any buttons. None of them work. None of them respond. You have to die. Or go
you want to know the reason
AK.
behind that? It's Bow Wow. Because you have to leave the screen because Bow Wow is in your party, and because Bow Wow is in your party, the game checks for if a partner leaves the screen to end the cutscene, so you have to leave the screen with Bow Wow. However, you prematurely leave the screen before the cutscene finishes, so you're still in the cutscene state. So you don't have access to your buttons. Also, just feed some arrows to the sand, and we get rewarded with a fish.
We sacrifice it to the fish key gods. Alright, and now we have one of the more dangerous parts of the run, the Armos maze, and either of them could technically die in it with just the slightest bit of... What would you even call it? Bad luck? I've seen...
Armos maze doesn't really have that much bad luck, especially considering TGH has 4 hearts. He could get... In theory, he could get worst RNG on the exit and get hit by the Armos and still be fine.
Yeah, the Armos do boatloads of damage. It's a bad time. The game expects you'll have 3 more hearts by now. 4?
This is recommended for the 6th dungeon, and we have not completed the 2nd. Very solid boot strats from TGH. SeYsEy also getting a solid Armos Knight.
Yep.
A little bit slower, but still a viable strat.
Yeah. They are well within the estimated time of their PBs right now. Or not PBing, but in terms of their skill next to one another according to the leaderboards.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty,
and oh wow, very nice getting the kill on that. The eat. Bow Wow also can just randomly eat these Armos. Getting really good RNG on the Armos.
SeYsEy's got beautiful RNG there. Oh, the arrow count.
Yeah, 9 arrows on TGH's side and 10 arrows on SeYsEy's side.
Oh, makes my heart flutter.
Ideally, the minimum you could have without getting the pickups later in D8 is 5. So they are very comfortable on arrows.
And here is the first Jesus jump, which is also using the same trick as Villiscup to just whoop down a screen.
Yeah, if you pause in the same frame that you are about to drown, the game thinks that Link's grounded, and it'll force Link down to the bottom of a tile, and you can abuse that to, well, one, transition down onto that screen, but also jump off of water.
And I'd be remiss to also not just mention the trick we bit there, which was Bow Wow eating the cutscene for D6 to save some time in watching it, because he is a good boy.
No, that's... We manipulate that.
Yeah, we give him a bomb arrow to eat, and he just eats the whole cutscene.
Yeah, because he thinks there's an entity there, and there is, so he eats the next entity.
Mm-hmm. It's so convenient.
Yep.
Nice 2D sections from both of them. I think the 2D sections are probably my favorite parts of these runs, just because they're so simple to see, or even, like, perform. But when you get it, it's so satisfying to, like, watch.
Yeah, actually surprised that, like, barely anyone does the feather strats for the 2D section, considering they're, like, half a second faster.
Yeah.
And they're safer, but, you know.
Yeah, but then,
people are comfortable with.
Yeah.
Ooh, TGH messing up the tile room a little bit, so he wasn't able to get the damage boost off the tile. That's fine.
Nice clear of the Wizrobe room.
Ooh, I think SeYsEy threw the bomb too early.
Nope.
No, he's good. I think he barely got it.
Yep. Alright. And we have more super jumping. I was gonna call it Jesus jumping for a second because of all the water. Ugh.
Also, speaking of super jumping, this is a shack jump. If you hold diagonally up against an interactable object, then jump, and then hold the opposite direction that Link's facing. Or, well, no, hold the direction that Link's facing. Link will just do a super jump. And they're called shack jumps for some reason.
And that jump from the left to the right there to get to where they are now, probably one of the least forgiving ones. I was mentioning that you can soft long on it, but there's also only a 3 pixel wide acceptable limit.
Actually.
Actually.
There's a 2 pixel window that you actually soft lock. Every other positioning you can dash out and you don't soft lock.
Huh. Either way, it's still a very small window that you'll actually get up to the side, and oof. Horse heads for TGH, just wrecking things and putting SeYsEy into the lead.
Yeah,
it's nothing that couldn't be caught up, but it's a significant lead now.
Yeah, horse heads are
the bane
annoying.
Of everyone's existence.
It's 50-50 chance for each one to land upright, and yeah, so 1 in 4, and really bad RNG on TGH's side.
Yeah,
SeYsEy getting good horse heads.
Good in big quotations. I think it was at least like 4, but yeah.
I mean, not average. That's good.
Yeah. And then we fight this definitely a boss and not just a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, this is Facade. Doesn't work in any game, in any of the games. Actually, fun fact, he works so little that in the remake you can skip him. So,
I was gonna say, there's a remake? I've heard legends. I thought this was the remake. We got that colored
the remake of this. Anyways, SeYsEy making his way over here, and he's going to be doing a sequence of 4 to 5 Jesus jumps, going for the 5, where you have to frame perfectly buffer to these Jesus jumps.
Yep.
And then
not be too low, because that can result in an out of bounds, and I think it's only a 10-second penalty for us right now, just in terms of this tournament, because it's so easy to accidentally do. Oof, I drown.
SeYsEy having a bit of a rough Jesus jump section. Both runners. Okay, TGH having some 2 buffers. Wow.
Oh.
SeYsEy. Oh.
No, the lead.
And
The
that
run
actually
back.
puts TGH in the lead.
By a full Jesus jump.
Yeah.
Not
This
too much.
Jesus don't let it fool you. Like, these Jesus jumps are frame perfect.
Yep.
And each extra pause is a 2-second penalty. So you want to make sure you get them framed perfectly, or at least a 2 buffer.
Yeah.
And they're very hard. It's probably one of the hardest sequences in the game, and honestly, in any category, because being able to play so consistently and so frame perfectly for that period of time is really difficult.
It is indeed. Dude. So we both see them take the wasteland path. There's a couple of paths you're allowed to take here. This is the big running section of the run. I like to call it running in the 90s, because it gives me something to do while I'm doing it for the solid, 3 minutes it lasts.
And this game came out in the 90s?
It did indeed come out in the 90s.
Both versions came out in the 90s.
Yep. And here is another instance of us setting a save point just for the sake of later. It's going to save us a couple of steps. I think 4 screen transitions worth? Maybe 5?
More than that. More than that, plus a bunch of running. Someone asked the frame rate. Ryan's got it right. It's 60-ish. It's 59.7275 numbers.
Amber has placed the full thing in the chat.
Yep, they got it.
Dude.
So now saving and quitting, and then making their way to the validation room. If either of the runners get obstacle skip, they are still in the running. Very nice on TGH. SeYsEy also getting the obstacle skip. Perfect. Magnificent. Both runs are still valid.
Yep.
Now time for Dungeon 4, one of my personal favorites, probably in the top 3 for me. Just because of how short it is, but also because of how we make it so short.
Yeah. As I said, my favorite is 7. I just like doing all the bomb triggers way more than this hole. I hate doing this hole. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I just like how, fast-paced it is, all the cool strats. Like, for instance, doing that little Jesus jump into the cracked block to skip using a bomb arrow.
Yep.
Or, for instance, this other Jesus jump where you Jesus jump and skip fighting the cue ball fight and getting a key.
I was about to say, SeYsEy was really low there. That could have resulted in another out of bounds. The same as the first one when you're going left or right. Because when you Jesus jump, you actually get pushed down 1 pixel, or is it 2 pixels? I think it's just 1 pixel.
If you're near the bottom of a tile, you get pushed down completely.
Yeah. And that can result in you getting clipped into a wall. And if you transition and aren't in that water, that means you are out of bounds because you are too many pixels into the wall, and the game thinks you are standing on solid ground, not the water that should be there. So it's
also, perfect jump there.
Yeah.
Both going for the fast strat here on the P-Hat Clink. Both getting it very nicely.
And
now time for the hardest boss in the game.
There's a boss here? I thought someone just forgot their goldfish.
Well, I mean, we shot high velocity explosives at its face and it died.
I don't know. Those seem medium velocity to me.
Medium velocity bomb arrows, you consider that medium velocity?
Yep. I mean, considering how fast the bookshot goes, I think it's medium velocity.
I mean, considering that Link literally, chucks these bomb arrows with his hand.
And they work underwater somehow.
Yeah, I think that's high velocity. Yeah, actually, no, it's high velocity because water slows things down.
There we go. We've cracked the physics case.
Ignore the fact that he shoots them the same exact speed above ground. He's just firing them faster underwater for the sake of keeping the same speed.
Stunting on the fish. So here we have heading on to D5. Technically, you can get into D5 without the flippers, but it is really annoying, so no one would ever do it, except for in a possible low percent that is being routed as we speak. Which I think still needs the flippers.
Well, I mean... Actually, no, you don't need flippers in low percent, but you do need flippers in this category for literally one instance ever. And that is...
And fighting
well,
the
not
fish.
this. Not just... Oh, well, yeah. Anglerfish, but not this. It's anglerfish and the D5 Nightmare Key, which has a water section.
Yeah.
2 spots in the game.
It is a very easily skippable boss door for D5, but that would require going out of bounds and walking over a wall, which is illegal.
Yeah, also, here's my favorite
2D section.
just dungeon in the game, period.
I don't know why everyone likes this one. It makes me cry on the inside.
D5 is just so fun. There's just so many like cool movements. The frame savers are really fun.
Yeah.
Just all of it flows so well together.
I just like
Feels really
bullying
nice
Master
to play.
Stalfos. Yeah.
But yeah, it's also the most fast-paced part. You know, it's a lot of, you know, back-to-back, really execution-based sections. So, like,
And
for
bullying.
instance, here we overkill the Master Stalfos and push him to this door so that he can drop a key.
Yep.
And we're gonna be using that key later.
Yep. There's a lot of different routes to get through D5, and the easiest one for no woob in terms of speed is to just bully the first Master Stalfos to steal an extra key, because it saves from going into a different 2D section.
So, Master Stalfos 2, down for the count.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
And we-
this boss fight is not reminiscent of any popular indie game characters that happen to be skeletons.
Yep, definitely not.
Not great either. He's just a master, and he's a Stalfos.
Yeah.
TGH getting the damage boost, very nice. Alrighty. Boom. Alrighty, time for one of the fun parts, mashing. So, if you're in a 2D section underwater, and you use the feather, Link will move up a little bit, and if you do that up against a ceiling, the faster you mash, the faster you go. So, the faster you mash here, the faster the section is for you. So if you can mash really fast, you could save like over a second over someone who's not so fast at mashing.
And then I cried because I'm not so fast at mashing.
Alrighty, and TGH getting the good RNG, very nice.
Ugh.
That Helmosaur can move 1 in 4 directions. Preferably you want him to be facing to the right, so you can get the spin slash on him.
Yep. Alright, and the last Master Stalfos, which we kill normally, but there's also a slight caveat to
You have
this.
to wait for the text box to clear and for the hookshot to enter your inventory, because if you don't do that, you don't get the hookshot. So there
Which
we go.
takes like 2 to 3 frames after the text box closes, so you can't even like try to buffer the save and quit. It's, I think, the only item like that in the entire game where it doesn't immediately go into the inventory.
Mushroom also does that. Any sort of item that you pick up over your head off the ground that gives you a text box.
Yeah, you'll
Like
see
that.
many runners do what SeYsEy is doing right now, where they actually will leave the B button blank so they can see the moment that it comes in just to be safe. And it saves the equip slightly later.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
Alrighty, then...
Bookshot?
Oh, no bookshot.
No bookshot. No.
They say getting really bad RNG on these Helmosaurs. Sometimes they can just go behind the spike traps and then get in the way.
And this was my least favorite boss before I learned how to kill him quickly.
Yep, Slime Eel is neither slime nor eel.
But he's all damage resistant.
Yeah, and he also sucks if you have Piece of Power or the Red Tunic, because for some reason, his iframes get increased when you have Piece of Power.
Yeah, it increases it by like the time it would take for him to fly across the room, but he doesn't move. So he's a flat 8 hits regardless of what you do, and if you have better damage, or a Piece of Power of that, because you could have level 2 sword, but it would make no difference. It just makes him harder to fight. Because reasons. Both getting the good 2 cycle though, so everyone's happy. And still not too far behind, honestly.
Yeah, the gap is increasing
Ever so slightly.
Yeah. So now coming up on one of the great divides of this game, probably one of the biggest hurdles that someone has to, get over to run this game is Rooster Skip.
Yeah. Though first, another running segment. Not as long as the last one, but still long.
It's the segment of the run where you contemplate your life and really kind of prep yourself for
everything has led up to this moment, and you wonder, why did I do this?
Yeah. So yeah, Rooster Skip is a double frame perfect trick that requires a trick known as hookshot jumping. If a hookshot returns to Link on the exact frame that it returns to Link, you have a frame to interact out of it, and because Link is considered grounded, he can jump. And with that, we can jump over the pit. There is a buffered and an unbuffered method. However, the buffered method loses at least 8 seconds. So we want to avoid that by going for the unbuffered, which both of the runners are probably going to do.
It loses 2 seconds per frame that you are off with it, and then an additional 2 seconds because of having to do select to buffer the actual jump. So it's a treat.
Yeah, and roughly 28 seconds difference between the runners.
Yep. Which is not too bad.
Yeah, that is an entire Rooster Skip's worth, so...
And if either of them manages to fall, oof.
So
Pressure's
TGH
on.
is gonna do a seemingly random save and quit. That is not only for safety, but also for a trick we'll be doing later.
Yeah, we'll explain it when it gets there. For now...
Alright, time for the Rooster Skip. Firsty. Double firsties. Perfect.
There we go.
That's textbook right there.
Yeah, that's the dream. And then we fall in the hole.
Where did the lead come from? Well, the lead came from one, SeYsEy making mistakes, but also because TGH is just like... He has such a, he is like a minute ahead of SeYsEy's PB, and so there are a lot of, aspects of the run that he is, more consistent at and does faster strats for. Oh, SeYsEy getting screwed by the Bow Wow. Oh, but going for the buffered. Oh, and falling. Yeah. Darn.
I think the major bit of the lead was in D4. Because SeYsEy fell in the water, attempting to do the Jesus jump.
But that's not like 20 seconds of difference.
It's not, but that was where I think the major dip happened. The major deviation started to happen.
SeYsEy and TGH were roughly neck and neck on the Jesus jumps at the end.
Yeah.
And TGH just expanded his lead.
Yeah.
And getting the nice Bow Wow manipulation there.
Yep.
Sometimes he just won't eat because...
Bow Wow just gives SeYsEy the worst time in the world.
Yeah, this is why Bow Wow sucks.
Pour one out for SeYsEy.
Screw you over.
D7, anyway. My favorite dungeon, like I said. Keys are optional and glitches are fun.
Oh, yeah.
I think we were
nice damage boost.
Ooh, there we go. SeYsEy getting the key.
Alright, perfect. While TGH is doing the bomb triggers here. So yeah, who needs a giant metal ball when you can just use
explosives to like...
Explosive, yeah. Like, I mean, they're tools of demolition.
That is gonna at least give SeYsEy some catch-up time. Especially going the wrong way. Ooh,
Okay,
just
saving
saving and
quit.
quitting. That's not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah, that's going to give SeYsEy some time to catch up while he enters
Yep.
the dungeon. So that does make up for whatever rooster skip time loss that SeYsEy had before.
Yeah. At least a little bit of it. Oof.
Yeah, also, like, another deviation between their times is, TGH just had a cleaner D5 overall.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it is, sometimes you don't really realize just how much time you're losing in D5 because there's just so many small time losses
Random
and
bits
stuff
of
that you
RNG.
can, yeah, and also RNG as well. Alrighty. SeYsEy is in Dungeon 7 while TGH is approaching worst trick in the game.
I don't even do
Goomba
worst trick in
Surf.
the game.
Goomba
You
Surf is
either-
a 1 in 4. You have to wait for the top Goomba to move to the right. It is a 1 in 4 and it sucks.
Yep.
And it can sometimes take and first try, very nice.
Oof.
Sometimes it can take 34 tries.
Yeah.
Honestly, don't
going for the
ask me how I know that.
Going for the backup strat, which is another P-hat jump, similar to we saw in D4. Takes about 10 seconds longer, but if you can get it first try, you've obviously, saved the potential of all the nonsense potentially happening.
SeYsEy doing the bomb triggers while TGH's screen wrap killing the eagle. That's why I did the save and quit earlier, and that was to basically set it up so that the bottom bar here doesn't exist, so that you can just screen wrap kill with the hook shot, bow, or magic rod.
Because this game is held together with chewing gum and wishes.
And a lot of hope.
Yep. But it's still my favorite game as a result of it all. Alright.
SeYsEy doing the Goomba Surf.
Ooh.
Oh.
There's what we mean with the 1 in 4.
That Goomba's moved left 3 times in a
And then
row.
up.
And a down. Another up.
Wonder
Another
if he's
down. Okay,
There we go.
Yeah,
Oh,
that is such a punishing trick if you don't get it within the first 4 tries or so.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see TGH going off to D8 while SeYsEy is handling Evil Eagle.
Yep.
Who is an evil eagle.
Manned by Sans the skeleton.
I thought we didn't have any conveniently named skeletons who look like.
Oh no, that was
popular media.
that was Pyrus. I mean Master Stalfos.
Yeah.
Just Sans.
Yeah.
Because actually no, not Sans. We have Ness in this game.
Right.
It's Ness. Of course. I mean, look, he's got like the magical flute to spawn fly things.
Yes, the name for that boss is actually Evil Eagle.
It is Evil Eagle. Otherwise, it would just be regular Eagle. Exactly.
In terms of patching out bomb triggers, it wasn't even so much a matter of... I don't think they found it. It was just a matter of they realized with their... with the coding that technically a bomb arrow could trigger off of 2 bombs or 2 arrows because they didn't specify for the game to have both equipped.
So they created a gap between
Yeah.
when it worked.
Yeah, and then in 1.1 in that where it doesn't work, it's a matter of they just basically said to not check for both every bit. It checks for a bomb or an arrow and an arrow. So technically, in 1.1, you could do an arrow-based bomb trigger if it was at all viably possible in any location.
If you could in some way fire 2 arrows in the span of time required.
Yeah.
Also, that was a bookshot. If you have hookshot on the B button, then press A, B, and down, or just a direction, Link will go zoom.
Yep.
And then
Fast enough to clip into the block.
TGH also did a trick earlier called Flame Cave Skip, where if you basically are clipped into a wall, you don't take knockback, so you can just damage boost through the Flame Geyser and make it through, like what SeYsEy just did. And now...
Do make sure you're holding up if you want to try that trick, though. It's not horribly hard, but if you don't hold up, you just stand there and take it to the face.
Yeah.
That may not have been my first attempts with it.
Another Jesus jump. Oh,
he's not close enough to the wall.
Okay. Now he's gonna swim in lava. Ouch.
It's just, slightly warm chocolate milk.
It's red.
It's more brown.
Maroon.
Yep. Where women were expert of colors.
Indeed.
Yeah. Alright. And another boss that is definitely hard.
Yep. Who is this thing anyways? Why is it here?
I don't know. I think it's the real mini-boss of D8.
No, it's the boss of D8.
Oh yeah.
Guards the Nightmare Key.
Yeah.
D8 is normally meant to be kind of like the boss rush dungeon, but we just don't.
Yeah, we just skip half of them. Almost as badly as we skip the Hinox in D7. Where we just ignore him completely.
Well, but I mean, no one ever needs to fight the Hinox in D7. The Hinox in D7 is literally the most worthless mini-boss in the game.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be gained from that fight.
Yeah, 'cause it's like a key drop, and the keys in that dungeon are entirely optional, except for if you're doing glitchless, like one of them.
No, you don't even need the keys for glitchless. They're just like, they're just kind of there. They just add to the weirdly complex puzzle that like isn't actually that complex once you sort of figure it out. Okay, TGH getting the tech skip, losing time to it, but still fun.
I didn't even know you could tech skip that.
Yeah, you can. And that is the Thunder Drum.
And we got the Wang! Wang's
Put
out,
that thing
boys.
away. Put that thing away.
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Or so help me, and cut.
Yep.
Also, nice wide.
Yeah.
Also, y'all should watch Monsters Inc.
Yep.
And Monsters University and Monsters at Work.
Not sponsored by Disney or Pixar.
And neither. I just recommend it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's not really much happening in terms of, hey, they're going to Dungeon 2.
Yep. Back to Dungeon 2, saying hi. Possibly getting really bad RNG. We'll find out in about 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, because there's this room called the Nightmare Key Room. Basically, the Stalfos can move in whichever way it wants, and ooh, that's good RNG right there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's the room called the one no one got through as a kid because they couldn't read.
Yeah, who knows how to read?
Yeah.
Definitely not Pit from Kid Icarus.
Yep. He never learned how to read.
Anyways, he can kill those enemies in a very specific way, and it'll work. And then...
Everyone's favorite boss, with corners.
With corners. And, like little, lamps.
Yeah.
So we saved D2 for last because it's faster to leave after the power bracelet. And because we come back with, like, basically the whole arsenal and it's right on the way the egg gets faster. Also, hello. Yep, if you clip into a wall and then throw the pot, you can just instantly break it. And then if you just shoot fire...
just dies.
Yeah. Or, well, magic.
Interesting fact about that clip, though, it only works if you're facing left. If you're facing right, the pot can break, but it's very unlikely.
Yeah. Also, is it just me, or these lamps look kind of like, you know, the blocks from Mario World?
I don't know. I thought the one-eyed statues looked like teddy bears throughout my entire childhood.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm talking about, like, right? With, like, the little, like, closed eyes on the lamps.
Yeah. They got the look. Though I just caught a Pole's voice halfway through his jumping animation with also eyes closed, so maybe just someone hollowed out a Pole's voice.
Ugh. I don't even want to think about that. Anyways, time for this.
Yep. Who needs a flute? We can play the bomb expertly.
Alrighty, time for the speed round.
Yep.
So, first things first, they're going to be entering the egg here, and TGH is going to be going left, left, up, right, right, up, left, and then up, and that is the default egg pattern if you don't read the book, so
Yep.
screw the entire trade sequence. And then immediately after that, he's going to be equipping sword and bombs, and he's going to do a bomb trigger where he's going to mash as fast as he can into the room so that it skips the text and prevents the music from starting. And with that music not being able to start, that allows us to manipulate this first part of the fight here with the Nightmare Zol, where we hold out our sword on a specific pixel, then stand under it, then place a bomb, and it kills the Nightmare Zol with the sword, and then we can carry this manipulation into Aghanim, where if you stand in very specific positions based on the script and its position, you can get energy balls every single time.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see him do that. Just one more shot and gets the good oh, never mind. I was gonna say he gets the good RNG because if he is in the top or right corners, you can stand closer and not getting the pixel.
It's all
messing
lost.
up the manipulation. Well,
How many do we see?
no,
Okay, only
just one.
Oof.
Alrighty,
That
now
is a
time for
little
the
bit of more
Mold Arm
time.
quick kill. If you release your sword and then slash him in place, you can just hit him 16 times and then he just dies.
Mm-hmm.
And then time for Ganon.
Yep.
Just
Where we poke him in
dash
the ear.
into him.
He's got dirty ears. We gotta clean him with the sword.
And then this boss doesn't exist, it's just an orb.
Mm-hmm.
And now time for Death Eye. We cannot manipulate Death Eye because for some reason it plays the mini boss music.
Yep.
The mini boss? Why?
Ah.
Who's like, yes, we will play the mini boss music for the final part of the final fight.
All right.
Also,
All
yes, this boss will randomly open its eye whenever. Very clean Death Eye.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was beautiful.
And
Very good
that
RNG.
is game for TGH. He just needs to climb the stairs, and once the screen fades to white, that is GG's.
That is it. We will have our year's champion.
And time. TGH finishes with an official race time of 51:09.
Yeah.
GG's, congratulations to TGH on being the Link's Awakening DX 2021 World Champion.
Do I get a prize as first loser?
Well, that's plenty of people, actually, technically.
Yeah.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, that was fast. And
Congratulations, TGH, on your championship victory. I don't believe we can hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Either way, we're...
Hello?
Oh,
yep,
hello.
there you are.
TGH is
just
on.
finishing up Ganon. It was indeed fast.
So yeah, how does it feel winning?
Okay, so well, first off, it feels decent. Second,
Hey, you want to kill your audio? We can hear ourselves through you.
you can?
Yeah, I can hear the echo of the stream happening.
Oh, wait, what?
Don't worry, we're on SeYsEy's audio.
Okay, good.
Anyway,
But-
SeYsEy is finishing up here on
okay.
Nightmare.
That was a close race from both of you, though. There were most of it you were neck and neck. It was right around D4 to 5 that things really separated.
Yeah, mainly D5 was the big thing that separated both of you.
Yeah, I had an eye on it pretty much the whole time, and like, because I'm curious. I'm just like really curious all the time. I guess.
Alright,
When I'm racing.
GG's to SeYsEy.
Yeah, GG's.
Finishing with an official race time of 53:19. So how about them horse heads?
Oh god, those horse heads.
Okay, so hear me out. I've had 15th try Villa Skip in a run.
Oh
I've
yeah,
had-
the Villas.
I've had, what was it, like 15 or whatever horse heads. Try horse heads in a run. I've never had both of them in the same run.
Hey, at least you got first try Goomba
Like-
Surf.
Yeah, Goomba Surf was great after, the manipulation from falling at the shack jump,
Oh no!
which,
yeah.
by the way, I've never
Yeah.
done before either. So that was
Welcome in,
just a
SeYsEy.
weird.
Hello.
Yo,
GG's
SeYsEy,
on the
GG's.
race.
Yeah, GG Teach.
Yeah. Beautiful showing from both of you, though, honestly. I can't
Yeah, it
complain.
was really, really close until D5, and that's when sort of the gap started to, spread a little bit more.
Yeah. Just little things, but again, beautiful showing.
hmm Yeah, you guys were pretty much like literally like seconds apart up until that point. So that was an impressive showing by both of you. Any thoughts on the runs?
I'm really disappointed about what I did. Yeah, I think I did pretty well during the whole tournament, and I don't know, today was not the day. I failed pretty much everything. There is not a single good split on my run, and really disappointed about what I did.
As
I
I
really
say,
wanted-
nothing to be ashamed of or disappointed with. It was still a beautiful run of its own record.
Yeah, maybe, but like I feel like I could have done a lot better, and
I think the worst probably just Bow Wow trolling you, and that's not your fault.
Boa does not troll me. I just react really badly with the skip. Everything was my fault, pretty much. I had pretty meh RNG during the wall run, but yeah, I failed like 3 times, I think, with the skip, and all of that was entirely my fault. Didn't react properly, and yeah, and I was already in a bad mood with my bad beginning of the run. So yeah, really disappointed, but whatever.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. That was me after my last race.
Yeah.
Anyways, any other thoughts on the race from any of you?
Nothing special, but yeah, congrats on the win, TGH. You deserve it.
Thank you, SeYsEy. Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't really have much to say either, except just GG's to everyone, and thanks for putting this on. About the admins and ZSR for hosting, of course, the commentators, everyone involved. Y'all are awesome.
Thank you.
Yep.
And we'll decide sometime over the course of this year what the category is for next year.
Fish the pond.
Fish
Best
the
of
pond prison.
fives.
I love it.
Who likes arms? Who needs arms?
Yeah.
I guess before we close, what's your guys' opinion on Fish the Pond?
Never played it.
I've never run it either.
What about the concept of it then?
Gasp?
Oh.
A category
I've
that
heard-
TGH hasn't run and have the lead score in?
I've heard it's a big RNG grind with rupees.
Well, you don't have to grind rupees, luckily.
Oh, you don't?
No, you just doghouse and then get a rupee chest.
Oh, sick. All right. Well,
It's not
it
no
might,
whoop
it
fish the
might be a
ponds.
good it might be a good category then.
It is indeed. It is the best category.
But I'll have to run it to give you an actual opinion on it.
Slip into the abyss. I need fishing money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that is about it. What do we have coming up on ZSR?
Nah, nothing. It's a boring day. There's nothing going on. Wait, what? I don't know. Congratulations, TGH. Very well done, and a very well done, very nice second place to you as well, SeYsEy. Let me just ask, what's next for both of you now that you're free of any percent for a little while?
I'm probably going to continue grinding Game Boy Color trilogy runs. I've been having a lot of fun with that.
I didn't know that was a category. I'm going to do that now.
If you don't know what that is, it's Link's Awakening DX, Oracle of Ages, Oracle of Seasons, like the main categories of each game, all back to back to back. So it's fun. It's fun. It's like a 4-hour run.
Yeah.
Yeah, and personally, I started learning Skyward Sword HD ARP person run. So
Ooh, nice.
Oh, that's sick.
So yeah, I did 2 runs. Now I'm just starting a bit. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that, and I think I will continue that in the next weeks.
Nice. And then what are you doing, Materia, now that you're free of this tournament?
More rando, and probably trying to grind a sub 1.
Cool. And then I am freeing myself from any percent by doing more any percent.
Yep.
Except
That sounds about right.
segmented. So gonna be doing some fun stuff like the walrus deload.
Yeah, I was gonna say, gonna be deloading some walruses or what?
Yeah, we're gonna be doing deloading walrus. Still on the fence about doing bow wow skip, but we'll see.
About to say, getting free of any percent by doing more any percent is the true 5-head strat.
It is. Yep.
Now, speaking of the rest of the day on ZSR, we do have a couple things coming up. Link to the Past Randomizer Cross Keys tournament race coming up in about an hour that we're still trying to get on the air. We also have the Skyward Sword Weekly at about 3 Eastern, the Ocarina of Time Rando Weekly at 6 Eastern, and a Breath of the Wild any percent race at 9 p.m. Eastern that we're still... Yeah, and all those are still tentative, but keep an eye on the schedule as well as the channels themselves. Shout out to both of our runners. If you're not following them already, Tej and SeYsEy, please give them both a follow, as well as maybe the hero commentators of the tournament, Astra and Madam Materia. Thank you both for putting in a tremendous amount of work on comms, as well as everyone who's jumped in on commentary for this tournament. Very well done. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of this. Any final thoughts before we head on out?
Tomatoes are fruit, not vegetables.
Oh, I said thoughts, not starting fights.
I know.
That's
Wear your
That's just
seatbelt.
a fact, isn't it?
That doesn't mean it's not going to start a fight.
Final
Fine,
thoughts, pick up this category if you've been watching, just because it's a good time to have. Even if you're not great to start, just some of the tricks are really fun to just nail the first or second time.
So yeah.
My
Have a
final
good one,
thoughts are,
everyone.
I was gonna say my final thoughts are horse heads suck.
They do
Horse heads suck. SeYsEy, what are your final thoughts?
No whoop sucks.
Oh, are you gonna go back to playing Squoo when you come back to this game next?
I don't know what I will do. And honor if anyone beats my world record. And I don't know. I don't want to play Lady X for now.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe no Scoob when I come back. When I will come back, but definitely not no Woob. That's for sure. I'm sick of.
I like how you couldn't pick any one thing, so you're just like, screw the whole thing.
Yeah,
I like it.
I really don't like rupee grinding at the start, so
I don't either.
I probably pick a category that does not have rupee grinding at the start.
Hmm.
Like
Alright.
fish the
Alright.
pond.
Maybe not fish the town, but still
Well,
better than noobs.
anyways, think we are just about done. Have a good day, everyone, and wear your seatbelt.
And a
Thank you,
mask.
thank you very much for joining us all. Everybody stay safe out there, and we will see you back again here soon. See ya.